So, in the last video, I said to find some sort of USB device and start looking into what chipset it uses and how other people talk to it. And I'm kind of cheating in this next part because I picked a thing that is fairly well documented and is all self-contained. I have an RTL-SDR. Years ago, Realtek sold a chip to watch European broadcast digital TV. It was also capable of tuning into other radio frequencies and letting the user do the heavy lifting of demodulating whatever it was on that radio frequency. Others figured out all the features and how to use them, and since this is a non-standard way of using what bills itself as a TV tuner, it is maintained outside the operating system, so all the code is together. And since several companies now make these dongles specifically for this non-standard use, they're pretty open about the chips that they put into them. So the maker of the one I have has the Realtek 2832 in it, and for a tuner they're using this R820T. Reading up on the RTL 2832, it has a USB interface and demodulator all bundled together, but the tuner is a separate chip, and there's an I2C bus that connects them. And going through the librtlsdr code, it seems I have to go to that USB interface, tell that to activate the demodulator chip, tell the demod to activate the I2C repeater, and then send commands to the tuner. I2C has its own clock signal, and supposedly this will interfere with radio reception. So the recommended procedure is to turn on the relay, send a command, then turn the relay off. So if I want to use this thing at a minimum, I have to be able to do that procedure. Like many devices, there's typically a register somewhere that holds some sort of ID number. So I'm going to try to read the ID number off the tuner chip, which these guys have figured out should be 69. And the people who did the code here already did things like bundle up the BM request type here. So the reads and writes with type vendor. They have various other registers enumerated. And they also have a variety of read-write functions they packaged up with the standard sort of lib-USB way of actually talking to the USB device. So down here in the nicely labeled init baseband, they have the commands you need to actually turn the demodulator on. And they also have a function, if I can find it. Ah, here we go. And here's the specific commands needed also for turning the I2C repeater on and off. So here is my simple test program for doing this sort of thing. So first off, I need one of these dev types here. It's a little pointer. This will hold the information on the USB interface I'll be using. Get dev here will fill that information out, and I'll give it an endpoint from the command line. So this is a little procedure I found in the lib RTL-SDR code for an initial test on the USB interface. This little dummy write. Some other stuff I was looking at. And then here's the part about turning the demod on. So I turn that on. Then I check the I2C repeater, turn it on, then read the I2C interface. So this is going to work like I2C, which means I have to write the register I want to read, and then do a read command to find out what's in there. So first will be host to device, and then device to host to see what's there. And then turn the repeater off, and then verify that it's actually off. And so let's test it out. So I have my little RTL 2838 here on endpoint 3, and 3.0 is the default sort of configuration endpoint for it. You can see it has a 3.1, which is a bulk type, which would be later on when I actually want to read the radio signals back. That's where it would be done from. Oops, I got to give it an endpoint. And there we go. So it read endpoint 3, gave back some stuff from the little dev structure, did the initial little things I was looking for there, turned the dmod on, read the repeater value as 10, which is, should be what it is, that's off, set it to on, and then read it back, and it's 18, which is the on value. And then wrote the register I wanted to read to the I2C bus, read it back, came back 69, which is the value of that R802T chip. Turned the repeater off and read back that it was in the off state. So everything worked. So that's it for now. Until next time, have fun.